All right, it is 7 o'clock on 5 August 2025, Select Board meeting for the town of Newfields. My name's Hobie Harmon, I'm the chair.
Catherine Tarnowski.
Mark Casper.
All right. We've got a pretty good agenda tonight. The first thing we're doing is we're going to have a public hearing on the special event permit ordinance. This will be the first hearing. And because of the nuance of this, I have to read it. Special event permit ordinance. Before we start, I would like to thank Lieutenant Blaze for all his efforts on this. Well done, William. Thank you. Section 1, purpose. The purpose of this policy is to establish guidelines and procedures for the issuance of permits, large meetings, shows, competitions, events, functions by the Newfield Select Board. The town of Newfields has a legitimate interest in protecting the public health, safety, and welfare of its citizens and visitors who may be at risk from such gatherings, which may be held from time to time in the community. Such gatherings must provide for orderly and safe use of public streets, life safety, preparedness, and adequate parking and sanitary facilities for the use by those members of the public who desire to attend. Section 2, authority. The Newfield Select Board is granted authority under RSA 286 to require the issuance of permits for various types of events before such events are permitted to take place within the community. Further, the Newfields Police Chief is granted authority under RSA 105:9 to require police details for such events determined by the chief to potentially A, involve traffic-related problems, or B, lead to a public disturbance or public nuisance, or C, endanger public health, safety, or welfare, and assess the sponsor with the cost of such police details. Lastly, the Newfields Fire Chief is granted authority under RSA 153, the State Fire Code, and applicable National Fire Protection Association, NFPA codes, and standards to regulate outdoor events, carnivals, fairs, and indoor public assemblies. Section 3, definitions. A special event is a meeting, show, competition, or event or other function as defined under RSA 286:1, 286:2, or 105:9. Whether held indoors or outdoors, that is held on public or private property or streets, that can be reasonably expected to cause a public gathering of 50 or more persons that is not part of the normal course of business at the location. Special events not included. I say again, special events not included. Private family events such as weddings, funerals, graduation parties, etc., on property owned by the family, or fundraising events for religious or other charitable organizations that are located in Newfields when the entirety of the event takes place at the facility of that organization. B, a community event is a special event sponsored in part or in whole by the town of Newfields, such as the Fall Festival or Halloween, etc. Section 4, permit requirement. All special events within the town of Newfields require a permit from the Newfields Select Board. All applications for special events in the town of Newfields shall be reviewed by the town staff as appointed by the Newfields Select Board, which should include the police chief, fire chief, road agent, and when applicable, the health officer. Section 5, application procedure. A, all requests for a special event permit shall be submitted in writing to the Newfields town clerk on an application form approved by the Select Board a minimum of 30 days prior to the event. B, such application form will provide requirements and guidelines for the following types of special event plans. 1, site plan. 2, security crowd control plan. 3, traffic control parking plan. 4, fire emergency plan. 5, ambulance medical service plan. 6, ticket distribution plan. 7, sanitary facilities plan. 8, food service plan. C, upon receipt by the Newfields town clerk of a completed application and required application fee, applications shall be distributed to the police chief, fire chief, road agent, and when applicable, the health officer. Section 6, guidelines for review. The town shall act on all applications for special events in accordance with section 2 through 4 to ensure compliance with all state laws, town ordinances, and specific requirements deemed necessary to ensure adequate public safety at special events. Certain requirements may be waived when it is determined to be in the best interest of the town of Newfields. The town may recommend certain restrictions, exceptions, and conditions prior to the application being considered by the Board of Selectmen. D, breach of terms and conditions of any license or permit issued by the town of Newfields Board of Selectmen may be subject to a fine up to $150. E, failure to obtain a license or permit or an event covered under the provisions of RSA 286 or of this policy shall be subject to a fine of up to $150. F, a certificate of insurance showing the carrier and the amount of liability insurance will be required, and a license, correction, and a permit will not be issued until a certificate of insurance is received. The certificate of insurance shall explicitly name the town of Newfields as an additional insured and must state the name and date of the event. Non-performance or non-completion of said exceptions or conditions or addition of event activities, spectators, or participants beyond those specifically reviewed as part of the application review process may be cause for permit revocation at any time before or during the event. Section 7, fees. Every applicant shall pay in advance a fee of $50 for such an application review. Community events shall not be charged a permit fee. Special duty service fees. The application fee does not include the costs of fire or police protection or any other extra town expense required to protect the health and safety of the public, which can be reasonably attributed to the event. All such costs associated with the use of active and standby emergency or other services provided by the town of Newfields or by other towns emergency services shall be borne by the applicant, promoter, or sponsor. B, in the event that a special duty emergency response or protection cover is provided by a nearby municipality on behalf of the town of Newfields, an invoice will be submitted by that municipality for the service provided, which shall be paid in a timely manner by the applicant, promoter, or sponsor. A history of non-payment or late payment of any application fee and or special duty services is ground to deny future requests for future event permits. That concludes the first reading. Anything, Catherine? Any observations, feelings, thoughts, input?
Sure. First pass, last sentence of section 1, where it says the second half of the sentence, life safety preparedness and adequate parking and sanitary facilities for use by those members of the public who desire to attend, by those members of the public and maybe attendees, because there may be private, it might not always be public or the public participating. So what are we saying, that only people who are attending, but if someone's just walking by, they have a right to come on to that event and use the facilities or not? I guess I just want to be clear. There's attendees and the public, because I see that there could be a distinction that not all attendees fall under that description. If they do, then the who desire to attend could be crossed off.
You just say for use by those members attending.
Or by those members of the public.
Yeah.
Right? I just wanted to be clear that not, the both statements aren't maybe necessary or could be confusing. Members of the public who desire to attend might not be necessary, or by those members of the public and attendees. I don't know if it matters.
Mark, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, just saying for those attendees,
Well, that's,
I don't know if
your
that-
concern.
Sort of, because if you're not attending, but you're trying to cross the street in front of the place, you're a member of the public.
oh yeah,
See what I'm saying? Like the health and safety of all involved, whether they're attending or not. So if we're making a distinction, then we should add and attendees, or stop it at the public period and assume that means the people attending as well as anyone else.
I would go with strike who desire to attend.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Kat?
I just wanted to clarify that where it says on section 5B8, food service plan would also include alcohol. Like this is kind of a state language around food service policies includes alcohol, but do we need to make that explicit?
I think parentheses after that to include alcohol.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah.
Billy, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to just do food/alcohol service plan
Okay.
Right.
for simplicity. And just one other, really just kind of a housekeeping thing in section 6 that was noticed.
Stand by one, please. Okay, go ahead.
Refers to Board of Selectmen in this paragraph.
Which one are you on? Section 6.
Section 6.
Yep.
Instead of select board, most of this ordinance has select board, so I would change that instead of board of select.
C,
I concur with that.
It's in there a few times.
And there's also a couple in there where it talks about a license or a permit, so strike any reference to a license
Correct.
and we'll just leave it at permit.
Yeah.
Anything else from the board? Anything from the audience? No input? Okay. In that case, I will we will close the special event permit ordinance review. We'll make those changes to the document for the next reading, which will be at the next select board meeting. And then we'll have another reading there. Then we'll set it up for the third time. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Moving down. Ex officio, we have nothing has transpired since then. We do have 2 mowing bids. And the bid came out as the town of Newfields is accepting bids the RFQ, accepting bids for the care and maintenance of town grounds beginning in 2026. The services required are spring cleanup, fall cleanup, edging, trimming, mulching, and grass mowing at the town hall, library, town landing, and the 3 town parks. Bids must be submitted to the town of Newfields, 65 Main Street by 3 p.m. on 4 August 2025. Multi-year proposals are welcome and will be considered. Bid specifications can be found on the Newfields website at the appropriate place. All right, we have 2 bids. Town of Newfields 2026. This is the mowing and landscaping bid requirements, and it lists by town, by map, where the places are. And again, it's grass mowing, edging, trimming, mulching, spring, fall cleanup, fertilizing, seeding is needed. And pretty much the rest of it is probably referenced. Then there was a map included of the town with the highlighted points. And we have 2 bids. We have one from Mr. Wallace Dugan with WJD Landscapes. And we have one from Quality Hardwood Custom Mowing. And the one from Mr. Dugan, price is all inclusive, including mowing, edging, trimming, mulching, spring and fall cleanups for the following properties: the library, town hall, Hilton Park, Badger Memorial Park, Revolutionary Park, Town Landing. Total seasonal pricing for all properties would be $22,500. And custom hardwood quality, bid to mow all town properties in Newfield, spring raking and cleanup, supplying bark, mulch, loam, and grass seed where needed, weeding throughout summer where appropriate, raking in leaves from all properties in the fall, mowing for the season, spring cleanup, including summer weeding, fall cleanup, bark mulch market price plus 20% as needed, loam, etc., $30 per yard for the 2026 and 2027 season. And that came in at $9,400. One of the things I would offer on these is that from talking to the garden club and having numerous discussions with people there, that black mulch is dyed. So when you use black mulch, you're putting more chemicals into the ground.
Mhm.
And so I would encourage us to ensure that we use brown mulch in the future instead of black mulch.
Mhm.
And so that is the 2 bids, and I will open it up to the board. What's your pleasure?
22 versus 9?
Yeah.
Any significant difference that
In the scope,
really
in the
accounts
scope of the work?
for that, yeah. That's a significant difference in the cost, so what is missing or different? I don't see mowing, edging, trimming, mulching. I don't,
One's a town, one's a resident. Are they both residents of town?
No, Mr. Dugan is out of town.
Okay.
Also-
Not
not,
9, if I'm correct. He's a resident.
yeah, one is a resident, Quality Hardwood is. I'm also seeing weeding on this bid and I don't see any weeding on the higher bid.
And one of the things that will assist on the weeding issue is as we work through, and I'll talk more later about the rain garden issue all around the town, around the perimeter of the building, it will be a stone perimeter around the building, and that will preclude regrowth of the ivy and the New England kudzu that's growing on north end of the building.
I think he will probably be able to supply a good amount of mulch, just simply because he has a good supply of hardwoods, this quality hardwood.
You know, but we haven't been using, we've been using more of a processed mulch than we have been of just, splitter mulch
Yeah, yeah.
or chip mulch of like chipping the trees, because it's a more formal, more,
Looks a little nicer.
it's a more
Fluffy.
appropriate, I think, mulch on there.
Does it clarify on the bid?
It does not specify, but we can, I think we can make that clear of what we're requesting for.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on there?
Mhm.
Color of mulch,
Brown. Untreated, right?
Mhm. I'm inclined to go with the lower end, the local.
do I hear a motion?
I want to hear if there's anything other people might have to add about that.
Okay, open it up to the audience. Yeah, please speak, I'm sorry, please speak up loud so we can get it, so it'll. Thank you.
Kind of surprised that we only got 2 bids. Where was it advertised?
It was, Keisha, it was posted,
It's on the website, I'm not sure. See,
Surprising because of so many landscapers in our area, why we only got 2 bids. So
I think we also reached out to Derek Rudd, and he was not inclined to.
he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't do the mowing, but there's multiple people that,
We could do a better job broadcasting it.
I think it needs to be put up again. And it needs to be put in a newspaper or put in the community pages.
I don't know, so didn't, they had,
I'm just curious as to why we only got 2 bids. And
how long- Keisha, how long was the bid up? A month?
I think it was a month.
because I know a couple of people that are in the business and didn't know anything about it, so I was just curious. My other follow-up question would be, I know there's other people that have asked me about it, and I said, I'm not the specialist here. When you talk about no more doing the combustible chemical mulching, will that mulch be removed and be replaced? Or
If
is somebody
that's
going?
not within the scope of what the bid was. I mean, that's something we can explore. It'll probably incur some additional expense.
Because I'm just curious, are we just gonna put brown mulch on top of the black mulch? Or is the black mulch gonna be removed?
I would wager my thought process was just covering it. Preclude additional expense for removing it. Because eventually it's going to
Degrade.
degrade and compost.
What does the chemicals do?
It's just a dye.
Okay. So there'll be no more black mulch moving forward?
That's the intent of the board. That's the consensus of the board.
Got
Because this has been out for a month and this is the time we haven't bid it, I'm inclined to move forward with the bids that we have. Anybody else from the audience?
Noted, I think in the future, we should make a point to, if we can, somehow have it automatically go out to the 2 Facebook pages that are in town.
Well, in the town email, perhaps, maybe it could be an agenda item to discuss all the best places.
Yes, yeah,
We have the same process for every single situation, because we've run into this before where we're not getting enough bids or not feeling like we have a lot of choices.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, we can add that to an agenda itself, where the bids go and how they're being advertised.
All right. Any other input? I can't hear you. I need you to step up and speak to the microphone.
Can you hear me? Does that include Badger Park?
Badger
See,
Park.
Badger's taking over that.
Badger Park was in the scope of the bid. And as we work our way through that, I think we can make some adjustments as that comes to fruition. Isha, did these get published on the town website? The
Yes.
RFQs,
Yes, they're in the town.
they are on the town website. Okay. All right, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the lower bid with Quality Hardwoods.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's approved. 3-0. we'll take care of the notification on that. All right, next item on the agenda is the Rockingham, County 2026 budget. That was, we just didn't get it put on there. We did receive a copy of it. And this is just basically all we have to do is acknowledge it. So, just bringing it up, and if you folks are good with that, we'll move ahead. Next item is, the road agent approached me last Saturday that on Cuba Road, there has been a transgression into the right of way. And, Vernon Family Farm has put electric fencing out into the right of way, and they're letting their pigs go into there. This is, an issue for the town as far as, and the road agent, because the right of ways are basically sacrosanct. He could have set the electric fence in from the stone wall in, but there's been pigs out there wallowing in the dishes. And, it has the potential to cause some problems. I have, let's see if I can find them here. I had some pictures that I can, if I can find them, I'll find them for you. I liaised with Durbin on this, and he reviewed the state laws. We do not have a town ordinance per se, but state law covers this, and there's no interference allowed in any way, shape, or form in the right of way. We do not, as a town, have liability should any accident or injury transpire. However, that does not preclude us from being sued by somebody who is injured either by the fence or farm animals from the right of way. They can still seek to hit the town with a payout. Instead of proceeding to Mr. Vernon or Mr. Durbin with getting the attorneys, once I got knowledge from him, I drafted this letter. I'd like you to take a look at it so we can resolve this issue in a most timely manner and preclude having to engage attorneys and spend more money on this matter.
That looks clear and concise.
Well, what's today? It's August 5th.
Yep.
So you send this letter out. They have to have this done no later than August 8th.
It'll take, that's Friday, next Tuesday, it'll take about a half an hour to pull the stakes.
They should have, just give them a little more time, like into the weekend.
Going by mail.
Billy, can you guys deliver this?
Yeah, it just seems like if it goes by mail, they're gonna receive it potentially on the day of the deadline, which
So what I'll ask, if the board approves this, which I will respectfully request that it be done, then we'll request delivery. Have you guys drop it off tomorrow. Okay,
that gives them more time.
are you good with this, Kathy? Mark?
Sounds good.
But you're asking them to move it on by the 8th?
Yeah.
Which is Friday.
And they'll get it tomorrow. It'll take, it's just pulling, it's turning it off, the fence off, and pulling the fiberglass stakes and moving it back 10 feet
Okay.
inside the stone wall.
Okay.
Okay. All right. In that case, I have a formal draft here. Yeah. Or your pen since mine.
Yep.
I don't want to use it because my black one just died. Thank you, man. And I'll make sure you get this one tomorrow. All right, next item on the agenda. Moving down, we do have Muddy River had that event with a car show, which turned out to be not as big as event that it had potential for. We discussed this prior, and we just need to sign the form to make it legit. And just one signature, so we're all set on there. So that's taken care of. So just touching base, going back to the special events aspect of it, we do have a form for that. Since we are working to establish the ordinance, in the interim, we'll just use the concept of the form, the application form, as a policy where it states at the top of the application form that this needs to be complied with. And then once we've finished the third reading, the policy will disappear and the ordinance will control. So just wanted to brief that so that we're all on board with that. The next item that we have. So we received from the auditors a report of the audit, and you sent this out to everybody, correct, Keisha? Yeah, and if you guys had a chance to review this.
In most.
Okay, so the draft on the cover letter, just a couple of points I wanted to highlight on this. There are no significant or unusual transactions identified during our audit. We encountered no significant difficulties in dealing with management relating to performance of the audit. There was no disagreements during the course of the audit, and circumstances that affect the form and content of the auditor's report. No such circumstances have risen. And the key audit matters, we have determined there are no key audit matters to communicate. One of the things that was noted, the town has not recorded long-term costs of retirement healthcare costs and obligations or other post-employment benefits for the single employer plan in the in governmental activities. Purchasing policy, this is a repeat comment. The town's purchasing policy states that any purchases between $2,501 and $5,000 should have at least 3 verbal quotes from at least 3 vendors or evidence of attempting to get 3 vendor quotes. I would offer, from my experience, we've been pretty diligent on that, making sure that transpires. Purchases between $5,000 and $10,000 should have at least 3 formal quotes from vendors or evidence during an attempt to obtain quotes. And purchases over $10,000 are supposed to be chosen through a competitive bidding process. During testing, we reviewed 1 purchase from each of the noted purchasing thresholds, and no evidence of obtaining or attempting to obtain quotes of bidding was noted. I would have issue with that statement because my experience is we have been diligent about, especially over $5,000, making sure that we've gotten 3 bids and most certainly over 10. So we'll review that. And then some of the areas where there's opportunities for improvement. And this with the library, there's a number of issues that I think we need to bring up to the Board of Trustees on that to ensure that we resolve those issues. One of the things they talked about, they thought there was a deficiency in the IT policy. The town has a very solid IT policy. There are some other areas that we can work on, and such as capital assets policy and fund balance reporting. So I would like to see if Kat, you might have some interest in pursuing those deficiencies there that are shown on page 4.
Sure.
Would you be interested in doing that?
Yeah.
And then just take a look at that, and then we can move forward to that, and you can, and you have a copy of this, correct?
I can log in and
Okay.
look at it. Yeah.
All right. Then going through the whole draft document itself, which is pretty detailed and entailed, gets into retirement funds. It talks about authorization for expenditures, separation of funds, et cetera, et cetera. In that case, are we willing to accept the audit as set forth?
Well, we acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Is there anything we feel like we need to respond to
I
correct
don't-
misinformation,
I-
especially around the quotes?
Yeah, let me look into that. Let me do some research on that and figure out how we handle that. Keisha, any inputs on this? Any inputs on the audit? Okay. Mark, you got anything?
My one question is, how do we go about getting competitive bids for the road work for all the asphalt? Because I know that in the past, we have not, I don't think we've had competitive bids for that. And that's a biggie. That's 250,000 a year. Is that right?
Yes.
That should be looked at
Maybe an area of improvement.
big time. I know that's,
I would suggest, we bring the road agent in.
Yeah.
And let him, explain his logic and his thought process, Oil and Tanner, oh, who is it? Who's the, I'm blanking on the papers right now.
on the road, Bell and Flynn.
Bell and Flint. The town has had a long-standing relationship.
Completely
with Bell,
understand that.
and they have taken extremely good care of the town as far as cost and responsiveness. But if you want to move ahead when we do budgets, would you be amenable at budget?
I think
time?
it's, we should stay within the lines of what we're doing with everybody else.
Yeah, and let's address that when we start working budget, if you're good with that. Okay? You can borrow your pen again, please, ma'am, your black pen. Moving on. We have a town hall rental request. Somewhere here.
Mhm.
I need some more paper.
You want to draft, look at the draft?
Yeah, but I got the original here. Okay, got it. Town hall rental request, this is from Tom Welton. And they're looking to rent it on 8 September. $75 non-alcoholic from 6:15 PM till 8:45 PM. Expecting approximately 30 peoples. 30 peeps will be there. I'll make a motion, we accept this.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I had 2 black ones and both of them were worthless.
Keeping it warm for you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Prior meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to review them? If not, we can take a minute and review them.
All good.
You good? Yeah, you good? I'll make a motion, we accept the prior meeting minutes.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll jump through some open items. Fire truck, first payment has been made on the fire truck, 489,000, I think it was. And that check was, signed yesterday. Town hall streams. Keisha needs to finish downloading the
Mhm.
archived events from town hall streams. They received, the bill was $1,500, was it?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Bill to download it?
No, for continuing service with town hall streams.
Okay,
So, we need to notify them that their service is no longer.
they have been notified. They were,
Yeah, but they still send us a bill, so I need you to follow. up
okay,
if you
I will
But
definitely,
we want to wait until which time Keisha has everything downloaded.
yes, right.
So probably no later than, you think by next Friday?
Yeah, I'm looking at this.
They've been billing all along for the past few months. They've been
I
billing.
think we've been paid up for July, so that.
Oh, okay.
It's just for, is,
Through December?
yes, we have 6 months, so.
Okay.
Okay. Um,
It's hoping to have.
just a quick question. Keisha was talking about difficulties doing it downstairs with jamming up the phones because it's all internet. Can she download?
Large video files.
I'm sorry, sir?
They're large video.
Yeah,
files.
can she put them on a thumb drive so she can do it? Too big?
They
You
still
have
have
to
to.
download them all.
Into what?
Download these videos, then you have to upload them to YouTube. Then YouTube process them.
Understand, I was just wondering if she could get them off from town hall streams, so we can say adios to town hall streams and then upload them off a device of some kind.
There's a way to do it.
Sure. They've been done.
Because I
Deleting the older
deleted
ones.
We discussed.
So I'll let you guys figure that out, but it's just a thought because when she tries to download these massive databases, it's screwing up the phones.
I know.
Microsoft have a file server? Do they have a cloud server? A cloud,
We already
storage?
have that with OneDrive.
Yeah.
So, it's not necessarily a question of cloud storage. She has to download it to her computer first.
I
And then
see.
it backs up to OneDrive.
Mhm.
So it's just time intensive, data
Gotcha.
intensive, so. But I think that's, Keisha and I have spoken. It just makes sense to download them all first and then later go through the process to upload them to YouTube. But
Okay.
it
And-
kind
Keisha, when you're done, will you send Mark an email or a text and let him know that he's cleared hot on, cutting off town hall streams? Great, thank you. Which brings us to the next point, Mark. We got that updated contract from Civic Plus Upgrade. Do you still have a kind of?
I would say, well,
feeling or-
we're kind
What's
of
your
caught,
recommendation?
kind of stuck with them for the short term
Okay,
because, I mean, you have really very few website developers for municipal websites. But if you give it let's see how they do for the upgrade.
okay,
And if it's a train wreck, we will move them out.
okay, because I was not impressed with their email exchanges and customer service
Yeah.
in any way, shape or
I
form.
know, they're awful.
And if we're spending money, we want to get somebody who's,
The only thing that I have is a safeguard is I have the CEO's email and they've been following up with me a little more readily, like, do you have everything you need now? Because,
and do you have the original for the contract? So are you recommending that we sign this contract?
yes,
Do you have a smooth or not?
I don't have the original, no. I forwarded the one that with the detail on it, so we could sign that.
All right, let me make a note of that. We can put that downstairs and get everybody in to sign it.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion then in that case that we do sign the contract with Civic Plus for the upgrade.
Yeah.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, please. Okay, so
That's all.
Is that part?
Yeah,
that the one with the proper numbers in it?
yes, this is, yeah.
Okay, then when you sign that,
As you saw, I was like pulling teeth to get him to just,
it was not an impressive
it's me on one page.
work product coming out of them.
Okay, there's one signature on here, so I'll let you sign it. one of the features that it's supposed to have, this new website, is that if you post something on the town hall for like a bid, that it could get sent out to other mediums like Facebook groups, et cetera. So keeping my fingers crossed that we have something that's actually an improvement.
Checks. Uh, There was on 24 July 25, there was the DOT Main Street meeting here at Town Hall that is online and it's archived. If anybody wants to go see it, and I would like to just leave it at that unless anybody has something they really want to add to that.
That makes sense.
Okay. So the Town Hall rain gardens, where we're at on this, Mr. Lawrence.
On the street safety issue, I would personally kind of like to see what happens with the reporting that they were suggesting was a possibility or a necessity for changing the speed limit. I don't know where that was left standing, whether it was left standing, it was a state, something the state would.
The engineering study that would be required.
Yes.
The state referenced that it would need to be required before it could be done. Non-public contractual, we're talking 25,000 approximately to have it done. They talked about Rockingham County being able to assist on that. My personal observation, I would have a real hard time justifying that kind of money to drop the speed limit 5 miles an hour when I don't know how much of an issue this really is.
Yeah, my experience with the in town, top of Swampscott Street, Baker Street, Pleasant Street, Hilton Avenue, and Summer Street is that the sight lines are very limited. And at the speed that the cars are traveling, it's kind of a problem for a lot of the residents here in the town. So I just would wish that we would at least come up with what's the Rockingham County contribution and what would be the town contribution. And it may be that it would be something that a warrant article would be required to go through. But I don't think we should be through with this.
To pay for a study, you say?
Yes, that's the necessity to change the speed limit.
5 miles an hour.
Now, I understand fully that if citizens are going 30 miles an hour, or anybody who's going 30 miles an hour, there are vehicles following them, probably very closely, and maybe honking their horns. However, everybody is going 30 miles an hour, if that's the case.
I'm doing my part on that.
Thank you. I try to, and I do notice that if I've gone downhill by the post office or downhill about any place, it requires use of the brakes to maintain the speed limit.
I think what Hovey's saying is that it may not warrant, 5 miles an hour, spend this kind of money on a study, that maybe there are some other more practical ways to slow them down. Now, I don't even dare suggest putting a stop sign because I came
There's
town or
suggestion for one down there, then I suggest we put one at the top of Swampscott.
that start and stop is
That's going to be a bigger problem.
a bigger problem. Yeah.
If I could interject, where we left off at the last meeting is going to require a follow-up to actually explore all of the options that were talked about. So we know going into it what the next steps will be. So I think we are in a process.
Good.
And with,
Okay.
yeah, we are going
This is,
to follow up. It's not,
this is not a dead issue.
no, not at all. There will be a follow-up and then we'll have the option to explore what do each of these things look like, including a campaign for traffic calming and things like that, that was talked about and more information. And that might be low cost or no cost to the town to begin to do some of those things. So it's not a dead issue at all. It's a work in progress.
Which way are they coming in faster? I would imagine, like when people are turning to the right off of the Hilton.
So there's
House.
A lot of time has been spent reviewing the data and talking about what impacts speed, in which direction, including necessary stops from other ways.
Mhm.
But the next steps are to talk more about picking up where we left off in the last conversation.
Yeah.
At the risk of going backwards and spending more time, I don't know that that's particularly helpful, but as the next meetings come together, I would welcome you to attend with
Sure, sure.
questions if you don't think that those questions have been asked.
Yeah.
But I do believe a lot of this was covered already.
Okay.
So I just want to keep moving us in, moving forward rather than doubling back and asking questions that have been asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and answered.
Have in mind,
No, we're not building an overpass.
excuse me,
Roundabout.
one other thing I wish to just bring up, and it's only a matter of bringing it up. A number of years ago, we, I believe, discontinued all, working on spraying larvicide, mosquito spraying and that stuff. This year,
And can we save that for a little bit later? The mosquito thing?
yes, we can.
Thank you, sir.
It's bad right now. That's what I wanted to just bring out and.
Yeah.
Agreed, observed.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll jump to that. I want to power through the agenda stuff and then I'll open it up. Town Hall Rain Gardens. The Garden Club has been here. Bill Meserve, all the documents are signed as required by the state, and it has been marked out here on the town hall. There will be, for lack of a better term, put in lay terms, a depression out by where that dying ornamental cherry is. That tree will be coming down and stumped. The Garden Club will be planting there. Also on the south side of Town Hall, you can see the markings there where the depression is going to be. All the gutters from the front, except for that side of the sidewalk, from the door to the south, and all the gutters from the backside will be going to that rain garden right there. And they have quite a planting bonanza going on. These funds, the expenses are covered by the state. They have to be native species, and the Garden Club is taking this forward with great energy and moving forward on that. One of the other things we are going to do, and a letter was sent to the abutters of the chain link fence out here. That old chain link fence is coming out, and those stumps will be taken care of. And under the auspices of the rain garden project, where the dirt bank comes down and meets the blacktop down there, that will be set with a retaining wall, a step back retaining wall to preclude that from coming back down there. So it's going to be a significant improvement, both in the water coming off for impermeable surfaces and cleaning of the water prior to the time it would reach the watershed. And plus it'll really improve the appearance of the town hall now that we've got that mess up, making progress back there. In light of that, the contract will be approved at the end of this month, and it will need to be signed, voted on and signed at the earliest date. So what I would like to do with the concurrence of the board is set at least September 2nd as a select board meeting date, so we can address that in the most timely manner. Are you good for the 2nd?
Yep.
Okay. So we will plan on having a select board meeting on 2 September. And that way we can get that contract signed, and that will facilitate the disbursements from the state and completion of the project. Okay. Let's see what other. The document came out yesterday from the New Hampshire Attorney General's office and the trust division in regards to the walkthrough on up at Burnham Family Farm, and we'll be receiving a copy from council here in the next day or so. I'm just putting that out there that we have received it. I responded, as I referenced I would last select board meeting, to when I CC'd you on the email on the sense of the board that it was the most prudent course of action was for the Friends of the Library to incur the cost for upgrading the HVAC system. I noticed there's probably still some resistance. I did notice that they are sponsoring one of the sponsors for the Fall Festival. And I'm hoping that we can persuade them that the Friends of the Library is the most appropriate way to deal with this, and because we budgeted, what, 68,000, I think it was this year out of tax revenue for the library. And if the Friends of the Library can preclude us from having to pull another $15,000 out of the taxpayers' pockets, I fully support that, because now we've achieved the mission without burdening the taxpayers with another grab of money. So I referenced that to him.
Is there a way that we would submit a formal request that they could respond to, that we're basically make our case as to why we feel like it falls within their purview?
I don't think there's really a formal mechanism for doing that, Kat. I think the way to do it is continue to communicate back and forth. Wynn has stated that there's some challenges now with the board, but I think if we just continue forward and go, I can't justify taking $15,000 out of the taxpayers' pockets when there's a resource specifically set up for the Friends of for the library that's available. So we'll work through it. And I told Wynn, we're always willing to sit down and talk about it and find a solution. But that was the sense of the board that I referenced to him in that email today. You attended some online, you want to give us a thumbnail on that, please, miss?
So the thumbnail on all of what has changed with this current state legislation is packed into 1 hour with further information shared by the New Hampshire Municipal Association with legal guidance, and specifically pointing out where there are problems in the language that could cause problems for towns. And so what I think might be helpful now that on the day of the webinar, which was 1 hour long, there were a lot of references to materials that would be sent out following, including some downloads with legal guidance, or, hey, you should know that there are conflicts here in this language. This might affect how your town moves forward to address these concerns. So if we want to make an agenda further at a future meeting, I can bring those actual materials and we can look more specifically at the ones that seem to have the biggest impact, which affects greatly the zoning board and the planning board types of activities when it comes to things that really override what our town ordinances already say. So there's a lot of detail, and I think it would be easier if I had materials in front of me to share and refer to, especially materials they hadn't shared at the time.
Were these handouts or online prints? Or what?
So they said, expect an email with downloads, and everything that is sent to me because I participated is also available to get on the NHMA site, but it wasn't available on that day.
Okay,
It was,
so we can individually go on and get it, or you can.
we all
you can-
can, but
or
I'm
you can print it
happy
all
to.
out
Yep,
and provide it to us.
Yep.
And it'd be nice to get that. If you, is it going to be a link, or is it going to be hard copies, or what?
I'm glad to actually print it and bring it printed.
I'd
It's
just like to get it
cumbersome.
like at
Yeah.
least a week or two before the next meeting, or the meeting that we're going to.
I can share it directly, and then we can put it on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lawrence, I need to catch up with you in regards to the building inspector and all this ADU stuff that's going on. Because I've been getting a lot of input from folks who want to.
I heard folks a little bit, and I knew some that were in the wings waiting.
Yeah, and I said we should have this locked on in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. And so everybody I've talked to said, okay, they appreciate the nuances of the state mandating changes without us really being engaged in the process. So we'll catch up on that and then figure out a way to move forward. Okay.
I'm not sure about anything that was in our whole list for ADUs, whether they are absolutely thrown out or whether they are, there may be some with some validity going forward.
Totally understand. And that's part of the nuance that we're going to have to sort through and figure out. So we'll get together with that. And if we need to, we'll get Mr. Shaw a checklist so he knows exactly what's happening exactly.
Has Mr. Durbin been involved with this at all?
No, but I've got
Not with me.
yeah,
Okay.
but I will, he's on my list to contact about a couple of things anyway, and I will liaise with him on that.
Okay.
All right. Guess we have to listen to the mosquito story.
Very good. And I was just commenting that this year is worse in my neighborhood than it has been in, well, if I defined recent memory as the last 10 or 15 years. And I just wanted to make that comment because if there were comments from all around town about this being really bad this year, I don't know whether there's some possibility it's because we have not done larvicide in the last couple of years or done anything in the last couple of years or not. But there are mosquito-borne diseases that are out there and being shown up in southern New Hampshire communities. So it's just out there now that it's pretty bad. I bought a Tyvek suit today to water the garden.
Well, if it rained, it'd solve that problem.
The rain caused it. Yeah.
Well, we need the rain. The point I'm making is, then you wouldn't have to water your garden.
Oh, well, all right, there you go.
All right. Okay. Noted. Thank you. Anything else? Got to speak loud, Deb.
It just registers in the speaker, that's all.
Appreciated. Unification and got some businesses pitched in and with their generosity, my pals are giving over these clean stuff. Debbie got at no charge. Debbie got Newfields, we came and painted the flagpole. We pitched in, we got a new flag for it. We don't expect anything, but I do think that the other businesses, how is the select board going to acknowledge that? Is there going to be a thank you note? Can we put it in the, also put it in the town report? Beginning of the year, thanking them for the generosity. And then I know that when we did the block down with Broadcrest Gardens, they're going to put the pavers, the patio, we took August to September. They're coming to do that. And
Whoa. This has to come before the board, and you weren't at the meeting. Any modifications to the footprint of the park has to be approved by the select board. So it can't just be, okay, he's willing to come and do it in August or September. Maintenance is not an issue, but if we're changing the footprint of the park, it has to be approved by the select board.
Derek said they submitted a plan and you guys haven't seen it?
Nope.
I will see him tomorrow. I'll visit him tomorrow. But can we have an update on the park? Like,
Thanking them.
things are coming back in. Debbie and I went, we needed a lot, but we can't keep up with that invasive vine. It just keeps coming back. I don't know what the plan is for that. But anyways, I just wanted to make sure that people get acknowledged that have been generous.
At the last select board meeting, everybody that has volunteered time and energy it was acknowledged at the last select board meeting. And it's in the minutes, and they will also be noticed, and that's a good idea, in the annual report. And Munch is going to come through, and he's got a plan for fixing, and I referenced this last select board meeting, a plan for fixing the bell tower to ensure that the rot on the northeast and the southwest corners is repaired. And then he will do all four corners so they are matched, and it will preclude, he's going to use AZEC on it, so it will preclude any future rot at the base of the tower there. Now, as far as the veterans aspect of it goes, those documents are in work with the IRS and also the Secretary of State's office being filed, and the charter is being drafted. The mission statement has been drafted, and there's a tentative member of veterans in town that are willing to serve on that board. And there have been offers from probably 3 or 4 businesses in town and individuals to make substantial contributions to cover any future developments in the park, including the walkway to pay for that, including also getting a stone set with bronze plaques referencing all those who have served since Vietnam, Gulf I, Gulf II, Afghanistan, Iraq, and in the Slovakian issues that happened back in the 80s during the Clinton administration, early 90s over there. So that's all in work. And so there's a time issue with that because the holdup will be the IRS granting the 501c19 tax exempt charter, one that allows charitable contributions to be tax deductible issues. And some of the folks I've talked to were talking about making substantial issues. And then, so that's basically covers the scope for the future improvement. And then once that's formed, then the Veterans Organization will come to the select board and request a charter from the select board for the maintenance, improvement, and upkeep of the park. I'm sorry, ma'am, the select board,
Yes.
yes.
So, Mr. Derek, to him would be, you need to put your presentation before the select board so they can prove it, so he can move forward. Because, the gal that came and got us, she was the one that told us that, this was when we'll probably have August or September, based on your work schedule. So I'll stop up at Christopher Line and talk with them and tell them what you suggested, that they need to come here with the plans and you need to approve it. Does that have to be at a select board meeting?
Yes.
It's got to be at a meeting.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I did talk to him probably 3 weeks ago now, and I informed him about the generation of the Veterans Organization. And he was very much on board with that, and he liked the idea because the veterans would be totally vested in maintenance, upgrade, and diligence in ensuring the park is the gem that it has the potential to be. And he was, so that's like I said, 3 weeks ago, he referenced nothing about moving forward at that time. So I'll be curious to see what his response is when you talk to him.
Anyway, so I just, if there's something we could be doing, we're just gonna stand still now, so I guess we're just gonna wait until things get approved and things move forward and all that is the landscaper next year. I know you said that they won't be cleaning up the park this year, the landscapers that we have now. Is that part of the contract? I'm just trying to understand are we gonna have to go back and rate? I mean, that's what I'm kind of curious about. When you talk about the maintenance, that the veterans are gonna take over, what do you mean by maintenance? Because we haven't seen.
The nuts.
They're gonna be mowing?
So not the mowing, but everything else.
They're-
I need the mowing is maintenance. The mowing is under the contract that we just let tonight. Maintenance will be flagpole painting, stone cleaning, new plaques or cleaning the plaques, getting the bell tower squared away. That's maintenance for the footprint that exists at this time.
So the landscaper's gonna be doing the edging around.
That's in the contract. That's in the mowing contract. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I understand.
Well, weeding, Deb specifically mentioned weeding, like they did all this work and now the weeds are coming back again and they feel like they're his.
No, that's maintenance.
Okay, great.
That's
So
maintenance.
so weeding should be happening.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, young lady?
Oh, yeah, I do. Just gonna throw this out there, it's a suggestion. The stone, eventually there's gonna be a stone, it's gonna be near the street that's gonna say Badger Park. I know we have a rock we talked about. I know that it's been thrown out there that maybe we'll put another brass thing on the front of it. My opinion only, I think it needs to be carved because the veterans have the brass signs on the stones. Those are for the veterans. And I just personally think that the Badger Park sign should not be anything that will take away from the integrity of the veterans and put the same brass sign in front. We could get somebody, like Pelzer, yeah, next to it, they engrave the stones and we could do it with the plaque. It would stand up and it would be different from the veterans. That's just my opinion.
Anything else anybody has? Yeah? Mark?
I mean, worth a thought.
And I think as we move forward, we can develop a long-term plan for the park. And then we can have agendas and work what we want to do as far as. The lighting issue is still in work for the flag, and that should be resolved here in the next couple of weeks. In that case, with no further input, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is closed. Thank you.